Please like, share. If you would, please subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell. Thank you. If you follow my channel, you are aware of the missing case of a friend of mine, JOANN DUDEK. She has been missing since November 13th, 2022. Here is her information in NamUs. And what's interesting is we still don't have any further updates. Her immediate family that she lives with has been really quiet, not asking for any help at this point. The police state at the circumstances on November 13th, after about 8 o'clock at night, 20 hours, JOANN went missing from her home located in Anthem, Arizona. JOANN was last seen by her husband, believed to be in bed asleep in her separate bedroom. On the morning of 11/14, JOANN was discovered missing from her home by her husband. There is concern for JOANN's safety from her family, as she left her cell phone and vehicle at the home. It is believed JOANN left the home with a new phone with information unknown. JOANN has not had contact with the family since November 13th. It is reported this is not normal behavior for JOANN. This is true, definitely not normal. Interesting that she was believed to be in bed asleep at 8 o'clock, which is not something that would be usual for JOANN either. I want to talk about searching. There have been no searches to date for JOANN. The weather is getting nicer in the Phoenix area. People are going to be getting out, walking, hiking, and I wanted to cover some things. As you can see, all those brown areas where there aren't little houses are desert spaces, and the desert is vast there in North Phoenix. I don't believe if she was put somewhere, she'd be particularly far from home. That's just my personal belief, speculation. I have no fact to go off of other than the condition of the people that could be involved, and just speculation based on what I know in the area. So that's the Roadrunner restaurant in New River, and you can see there is desert just all along that highway corridor. That's the I-17 freeway. However, there are limited access points to those areas. Most of that stuff is under freeway. We don't have proficient hikers and, people with real knowledge of that involved in this case. It is a very rough terrain even for people who are used to hiking the desert, and no matter what the temperature is, if the sun is out, it is still hot. Here you can see the Roadrunner restaurant, which is a very common place in the area. A lot of people know this place, and that's why I've just been drawn to somewhere in that area. Once you get out to that area, things get a little bit more desolate. The desert isn't as flat there, and it's very overgrown, which you can see, especially with all the rains Phoenix has been having in the last month or so. Definitely green. Those bushes get very tall, very dense, and it would be hard to find anything. You could put a group of 10 people in there and you probably wouldn't see them. So I'm just showing, that area. You can see that it's not really well lit, especially at night. It'd be very dark. There's places to pull off the road there, and you could potentially place something and definitely not be seen. However, that is a direct route for traffic, so cars would pass. However, like I said, this is not a frequented area, so late at night the car traffic is pretty nil, especially on a weekday. And this road is New River Road. This goes right over the freeway. So you can see, again, not so many access points. If we zoom out and we take you down New River Road a little bit, there's some landmarks. The church there, New River First Assembly of God, which starts to wrap around the west side of Phoenix there. That eventually reconnects with Anthem's west side. And you can see there are plenty of places along New River Road where the vegetation is pretty dense. And a lot of those blocks are dirt roads and side streets. Pretty much people that live there would be the only people that would be in those areas. So I would ask that people that live in those communities, please get the word out, in case you may have seen something suspicious in that area that didn't even cross your mind. Maybe now in retrospect, with some of this information, something may pop out at you, or maybe you walk those areas. You could look for any potential clues, a phone, clothing, something that would be out of the ordinary. We have another spot here on New River Road where you can see it is pretty dense vegetation, and then there's a couple of businesses there. One of them, I'm not really sure what it is. I think it's like water hauling. Their icon was like a pool, so I'm not really sure, but I believe it is water hauling. And I definitely want to reach out to those businesses as well, and kind of let them know, just to be on the lookout while they're on their grounds. Workers may stumble across who knows what, but there's a restaurant there, which nowadays would be busy. Nobody would want to stop in front of a restaurant where there would be people. And if we continue on, basically that wash circles right behind those businesses and continues along the west side of Anthem. And I bring up the wash because of all the rains. Things can get washed down. And again, that meets up to that west side of Anthem, which is all new community, all newer builds. Most of them are walled in, so they would not have contact with the desert. But many people like to walk and explore in those areas. So again, these are other areas that are very close to home that may reveal something. These would be the most likely spots to look. The only problem I have with it being less probable in some of these parts is there's fencing. So in addition to the homes and people who could potentially walk, there aren't really good places to park, and there's fencing, as well as the vegetation there is not quite dense. There's a lot of sparse spots and open areas, so it would make it a little bit harder to just want to place something there. And you can see, I'm gonna show you, see, it's more open, you can see, and you can see that fence line right there, where that's barbed wire, and some of those are maybe even electrified, I'm not sure. That's state land, and I don't know that you'd want to really mess around in those particular parts. So there aren't too many spots in the west side of Anthem. I'm trying to stick with places that would be familiar. So this is back to the house. Okay, this is the area that Joanne lived in, and there's wash there, but it's so small and open. no one would be there. Would have been found. And if we go up the road to where you can see all that desert to the right of the screen there, that you can't even access, because if you come around this road and you stop here, you'll see that that's a gated community. That's the Anthem Country Club. And this is the last gatehouse. There's actually not a manned booth there, so there's no personnel there to let you in. That gate would have to be up, and that would be very rare. And you would need a key fob. You would have to live there to get into that area to even access any of the streets that would connect with that wash up into New River, and that actually extends into Cave Creek as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Klein Creek, these are all washes, and these are very remote areas. You have to go desert hills and come all the way around, and if anyone's involved in this from the household, they're not real familiar with those places, so I don't think they, have frequented those areas. And though it looks close, to get there, it's really far. So if we go back, and you can see some of the desert areas right off the road closest to the home, again, anything's possible because we don't know where she may be. But you can see it's a lot flatter, and it's a little more open. And again, there's no place to pull off and park. If you stopped your car on the side there of the road, chances are police or another person would stop. These are the areas right by the house, and you can see that they're just washes, drain pipes. Nothing would be there. Basically storm drains. Here's some more areas: New River Road, Circle Mountain Road. I'm looking for places more that there's a turnoff. If you live by an area that you think could be obscured by turnoff, and it would be a place someone could pull over that you wouldn't necessarily see. There is an area in the west side of Anthem, and I'm going to take you there, off of Anthem Way as well, that has potential. I'm going to show it to you because it's not real far, the wash, from the road, and we'll go there. So this is the west side of Anthem, and that is Canyon Springs Elementary School. Very well known to the residents that live there. There is a park that connects to the wash, and you could pull over there. Not the most ideal spot to pull over. There's a school, but it's a wider street, and cars do park there because of the little park there. Sometimes you'll see in the daytime people will park along that road, and there are houses across the street on the other side, which I'll show you, but people park all along here, and you can see the desert there, and there's vegetation just a little bit set back off the road. There are the homes, and again, there's some 2 stories, a lot of single stories who would not be able to see you from the inside of their house necessarily. 2-story definitely could. Would they be able to see what you're doing? Probably not. And again, there's a street light there, but you could walk not very far and just get out of sight of the light, because those lights are angled down, and they're pretty much for the street. So these homes with the trees that kind of give those homes the privacy really wouldn't get a very good view of what's going on right in this area. As well as cars parking there wouldn't be a huge red flag because of the little park. And sometimes, people go and sit there and hang out and talk, although that's not ideal late at night. It does happen, so it wouldn't necessarily raise a huge flag as long as people were quiet, not making noise. So again, not the best, but you can see the park here. They could think, oh, just some people want to go sit in the park, or who knows, who cares? And it's definitely a possibility. There's 911 feet to that main wash that we looked at earlier, but it's less than 200 feet to the little green area closest to the road. So there's no telling. So what did happen at JOANN's house, and where did she go? We still just don't know. With lack of cooperation from the people that live with her, they're not reaching out. With so much desert, we don't know. So to her daughter, the boyfriend, the husband, if you are trying to find JOANN, there are outlets available to you. Use those resources. JOANN was a good lady. These are pictures of JOANN and her missing persons poster. We need to find her. Ironically, the daughter's cat also went missing on that date. Could that have been a point of contention for the household? I don't know, but as of November 16th, there were posters made. They were desperately searching for the cat, but not so much for mom. They reached out to the news and basically tried to say that she left, and, they didn't need to look for her because they said she was in rehab. However, the behaviors are interesting. Just writing derogatory things about her mom, so much love for her boyfriend, and then this is the most recent. We will be okay. You just have to promise you will too. Near or far, we'll always make it. Keep moving forward. It's the only way to go. Don't know where you are right now. Did you see me on TV? I'll try not to starve myself. I miss you. Very odd, but they were still celebrating through the holidays. Neighbors reported fireworks on New Year's. Seemed to be cheerful that she got back online. She celebrated a birthday, but no mention of mom. And more postings about the missing cat. That seems to be what is really raising the biggest red flags, that, they're pleading for the cat, but not mom. And that was posted February 11th, because that picture was taken February 12th, and if you look at it, it goes back one day ago, making that post February the 11th, 2023. We still have mysteries surrounding the vehicles. One of the vehicles was taken by police. The Honda CR-V was taken by the authorities to be searched, and I guess there's still conflicting information about whatever happened to the Toyota Camry. So I want to bring it back up. You can see it here. These are pictures of it when it was in the driveway. It may have left the community. Someone may have driven it. I actually, ironically, found the car on Google Maps driving. So that was kind of a blessing, because we can see it in motion. You can see the back brake light is out, how it was dented, and you can actually see what it would look like driving on the road. So the chances of finding that on Google Earth were like, wow. I did check the date, but unfortunately it was taken a few years ago. So I thought, wow, maybe we found the car, but we didn't. But if you could look at this vehicle and maybe you saw it, maybe these pictures will help ring the bell that we need to get some more information in this case. Everything at the house has been pretty quiet. We see bleach bottles in the garage, and that was actually a chicken suit costume, which originally I thought might have been one of those cleaning Tyvek suits, but it is not. And the police did search the home. This happened maybe about a month ago or so, and we can see some of the residents sitting there on the curb while police swarmed the house, and we don't know what evidence, if any evidence, was found inside the home. So we need to reach back out. and bring JOANN back into focus. This case is unsolved. She is still missing. No answers. And I believe that we can find JOANN. I believe that she's out there and she will be found. I recently found this picture of her and I love it because it captures her in real life, how happy she was, and just such a ball of light. And imagine that your loved one was missing. It's been 4 months, people. 4 months. So please spread the word. From Carefree Highway, Cave Creek, Desert Hills, Pioneer, anywhere off that I-17 corridor. Please, if you hike, if you have friends that hike, you walk your dogs while the weather's getting nice but yet still cool to be walking around in the early morning, please be careful. I know there's lots of things waking up like rattlesnakes and things that can be dangerous. Be careful, but if you happen to see anything that you think may be out of place, please don't hesitate to contact the police. We definitely need the community's help. All help is so much appreciated. Here's her flyer again, so you can have the case number, which is IR22-030478. Any information pertaining to this case, call it to Maricopa County Sheriff's Department at 602-876-1011. Please share this information. I will leave a link in the description to the NamUs report. 4 months JOANN has been missing. She would never, never, never leave and not contact anyone. I want to give a huge shout out to all the people who have been calling in tips, who have been communicating to try to help with this case, and all the people that have been praying and care about JOANN. We really appreciate you. To the family at the house, if there's anything that you want the public to know, I'd be more than willing to share it with the YouTube community. Maybe there's something that needs to be cleared up or something that you need to get out. I'm willing to do that for you. Please reach out. We just want to bring JOANN home. I think that's the goal here. We need to find JOANN. We need to get answers as to what happened to her. All things come to light eventually. So any information that's out there that is known, honesty is definitely the best policy. Please contact the Maricopa County Sheriff's Department and let them know what's going on. As time goes on, things only get worse. And the sooner we can resolve this case, the better off everyone will be. And that is a fact. Thank you for those of you who are watching. And always, please be safe.